Constantino, thank you for joining PadelEcho on our first podcast. I think it goes without saying that you were going to be the first guest, in the sense that you really helped the paddle community in Cyprus blossom into what it is today, hosting tournaments and being one of the first, if not the first, courts in the region. So thank you. So to get us started, I would like to ask, who is someone in your life that has inspired you and why?
Who, let's say, it's not one people. From the young age, I'm an athlete. I'm do long jump, triple jump, track and field.
Yeah.
So everyone will be involved in sports. They, I have passion with sports. So I like people. It's more people like footballers or track and field or tennis players. They inspire me. Everyone. Each story
That's awesome.
is have an impact in my life.
That's great. All right. Well, that's going to lead us into our next question, which is what, and you've been asked this a lot, as I've been told. What inspired you to start Spazio and why the name?
Okay, the Spazio, me, my sister, and my brother-in-law, we are studying sports science. So we want a family business. We worked before in many gyms, so we have the idea to have our own.
Okay.
So we started with the Spazio. The Spazio is a multi-space athletic center. We have the gym, pool, playing ground, football courts, now the paddle courts. So it's a multi-space. Multi-space space actually in Italy, Spazio.
Yeah.
We keep it like that, Spazio.
That's cool. And so how did you kind of slowly expand and branch out to paddle? You told me earlier that they were like tennis courts.
Yeah.
So what happened
actually,
in that transition?
the whole structure is one from the first year is one business plan. So the area there where we have the first two courts of paddle, it's supposed to be tennis court.
Okay.
After the weather, the time is fly,
Yeah, time passes.
Yeah, so many sports come out like paddle. So we prefer to install there two courts of paddle.
So where did you get the idea to do that? Because I think the first courts in Cyprus were at Aphrodite Hills, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So where did you get the idea to start before it even really blew up in Cyprus?
Back in 2014, Spazio, we opened the gym in 2016. So 2014, we went to Spain to find the equipment of the gym. It's a Spanish factory there. We have the equipment, all the for the gym. We went to Madrid actually, and we asked them to show us the equipment in a gym, not on the showroom, because we wanted to see the equipment in 5 years, not a new one. So they went us into an athletic center in Madrid. We saw the equipment, and after we have lunchtime, so we passed from the courts in athletic center there, and I see the paddle there.
Okay.
I saw the paddle there. First, I thought it was tennis, like everyone. And after the guy there, he hit the glass with the ball. And I was like, what happened? And the guy there is, he looked at me like, you are alien.
Yeah.
Said, you don't know paddle? No, I didn't know. So he booked their court. We played for 1 hour, I think. And I said, this is the most...
You could see the addiction from it.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And back then, in 2013, 14, everyone in Cyprus played beach tennis. Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. It was beach tennis was booming there. And I said, paddle is much better. It's not the sand. It's more clean. It's more... you don't run out the ball. It's close, with the...
Yeah, it's an enclosed space.
It's closed space. It's fast. It's good. So I think from the first time I played, it's better.
The first time I played paddle was in Spazio.
Yeah.
And I have like a 17-year background in tennis.
Okay.
and I'll admit I was a bit of an elitist with tennis. I was like, tennis is the best racket sport and all of this. And
like everyone.
I stepped into the paddle court. A good friend of mine was like, come, you should try. And the first thing that struck me was the serve. I was like, why are we serving underhand? And why is it so simple? And I remember I was getting frustrated because I was trying to hit topspin and things weren't working the way I wanted
like
it to.
Like every tennis player, he came
Exactly. Volleys weren't working. It was weird.
Ball never passed the player.
Yeah, and then I hit a passing shot and my opponent hit it on the glass and I was like, what are you doing? How are you allowed to do that? And so the learning curve was a massive one, but it was a real pleasure to experience that at Spazio. So
that's good because the most of the club owners now was our client because the first 1.5 year we are the only club actually in Nicosia. We had players from Paphos, from Paralimni, from Larnaca, everyone who wants to try padel. It was in Spazio. So
that's so cool. the bedrock of padel in Cyprus is Spazio. That's really cool. So yeah, how challenging or how easy was it for you to bring new players into the sport?
It was not difficult actually because how we start. The first two we finished the course was Thursday, and we start to play at 5 in the evening, and we finished 10. We played like 5 hours.
Oh my God!
The first time, and after I went to home and I sent all my friends Facebook the link how to play padel in one link in YouTube, how to play the 5 basic rules, and I said to them, come tomorrow to try that new sport, bring friends and play to have fun, and slowly people start to came, and from that moment everyone could try padel. Become 4 guys to play. Let's say the next day, the one guy bring another 3, the other guy bring another 3, and after 1 month, after 1 month and a half, you
couldn't find a court to book. I remember that. So this was before Playtomic.
People call me on the phone. I want to book. I have in 1 month. Boom.
I remember. So my friends, after we played it for the first time, I was like, when are we going to play next? And they said, I have no idea because we can't find a court to book for another month or 2.
It was like that. After 2 months, so it's not. It wasn't difficult to bring new players. Everyone bring.
It was word of mouth in Cyprus. That's how many things work. So that's really cool. So considering the growth of the sport, it's been 4 years now. Do you think Cyprus is far from hosting an international tournament?
Actually, no, because in FIP, the federation, they have some credential how to host, and now we have the clubs to host. Yeah, so we have the federation now. It's on the federation how if they want to attract a European tournament. They have, FIP have some categories.
Bronze, silver, gold, and then I'm not sure what goes on after that.
Yeah, it's a FIP prize and many more. So we have until one category we can we have the structure to host any European tournament. So I think it's not far.
Yeah, and I bet. I mean, after Spazio hosted so far, at least 10 tournaments there.
Yeah, for sure. And some events like the one we did in the Mall of Cyprus.
Oh, yeah?
You remember it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we did a lot.
Yeah, in the last 4 years, so much has transpired, and the community has grown so much.
Yes.
Have you witnessed the rise of the level in the sport?
Yeah. The first play we came to play padel was the beach tennis community. The beach tennis community, just to know, is the guy who they help us a lot to bring more people. So the players was beach tennis players, tennis players, and some squash players. They came, or the racket sport,
Yeah.
And then we at the first time we didn't see actually padel. we see something similar,
People learning at least. Yeah.
But after through 2-3 months, they start to play padel. They start to use the glass. From then I think we have now a very good level of padel. And imagine like in Greece, they have more years than us.
And more people.
To play. And now we have teams like they go to the tournaments and go to the semifinals, to the final.
Yeah.
So
it's really cool to see that.
Yeah, I think the level now is good.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see there's more tournaments coming up soon with more of our players going abroad to compete.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of going at least to spectate or to support the players from Cyprus?
Oh, in
Greece.
Abroad.
Yeah,
Greece. Yeah. We thought about that. We like about that.
Yeah.
So
why not?
Yeah, why not?
So from the business side of Padel, what kind of advice would you give to someone who's looking to open a club? Because there's a lot have opened.
Yeah.
Like we have just over 100 courts now.
Yeah.
Across the island, and there's more coming.
Yeah.
So what kind of advice would you give? I think the first piece of advice I'd like to ask you for is someone that's opening one, still in the process of, let's say, registering the courts and the land and everything and trying to sort that out. They're still in the nascent stage.
Yeah.
And then the other piece of advice would be for someone, let's say, who's a year into their club. What kind of advice would you give to them?
The advice, business-wise, I can't give advice because everyone, I'm sure they did their business, their business plan. Because as much exciting is to open a club, is the same complicated. Because now the competition is, if you ask that question before 2 years, was way different. Now the competition is more up. Every club now they want to cover their court. Spazio also have a restaurant now, so the competition before 2 years maybe is less money.
It's evolving.
Yeah,
it's like
now is more. You must think about more to give.
To offer. Yeah.
Yeah. The big advice I want to give everyone who consider to open a club is to think about their clients. The most important is to choose quality products, quality courts, quality surface. Don't discount on this and put money.
Don't cut any corners.
Yeah.
To cut back on costs so that you can make more.
Yeah. So give as much comfort and to the clients is the most important of all.
So
think about the clients. That's my only advice.
So your approach to that was obviously inspired by your visit in Madrid, and that's where you kind of got some guidance from the people you were buying gym equipment from.
Yeah, for sure.
So they were very experienced.
Just to know, in Spain, because the padel is 25 years, the court is not all the court is not as new as ours. Because I think we have better structure. Because in Spain, who opened a club last year to put the courts, the last courts, the last generation of courts.
Yeah, there's like 16,000.
Yeah, so the structure, I saw padel with no glass.
Yeah.
I saw padel with in the corner is fence.
Yeah.
It's not glass until
the sport evolved to the way we see it now. Yeah.
So evolved. The structure of in Spain is I think we have better now. Okay, they have clubs like elite.
Insane level clubs.
Yes, but overall, percentage.
Yeah, that's actually something really interesting to consider. There's also some discussion among the professional athletes saying that the way the sport is played has changed, and something has to happen either with the courts or the balls, or something has to change. They're considering increasing the height of the walls by 1 meter. which I imagine would be a mission to do with your existing courts, or anyone's existing courts now. But yeah, I think I would like to ask, especially from your perspective as someone who's so into sports and invested in a lifestyle of athleticism, what would you say to people that are new to the sport? Either to
they knew or they didn't try at all?
Haven't tried it all.
Okay.
Maybe they've seen it passing by some clubs, but what would you say to them from the perspective of someone who appreciates athleticism?
Okay. I have many friends, they didn't try it before, okay? And I said to him, come to try. Some tennis players, let's say, no, tennis is better. Okay, I'm waiting. After 1-2 months, in the court, now we have a tournament. The next, they enroll into the tournament also. So the people, they don't try yet. I'm sure they will in the next year. But the advice I would give to them is to try it.
Be curious. It's what we said before.
It's a very nice sport. It's the most, it's the most easy sport to get out of the couch and try it. It's not running, it's not bicycle, it's not swimming, it's not football.
It's not tennis?
It's easy. It's not tennis.
Yeah, the barrier of entry is very low.
Specific skills and all this kind of stuff. It's easy. If you can hold the racket, you can play.
That's so true, yeah, because people hold the racket sometimes like a frying
That's the
pan.
reason we saw now women to play. Which other sport have too many women to play?
Yeah, and we're hoping to see
not
more.
Not professionally, and to commercial, to try another sport. They go to play volleyball or basket. No.
We don't see that often.
Padel is the easiest sport to try. It's the more fun. You go with your friends, play. If you don't, hit the ball, you laugh.
Yeah.
So after you go for a coffee or a drink.
And that's it.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, you can
at least one, you should try.
Awesome. I mean, it is the lowest barrier of entry sport, at least racket sport that I've seen, but it also has a massive learning curve, which I think that's what a lot of people that I know, because I've been involved in the tournament scene for some time now, and I've met some of the players, and I've also seen them where I started with them in the beginners category, and I've seen them grow into high intermediate advanced, like low advanced players in a year. And that goes to show probably how frequent that they play. And you mentioned also the tournament that's coming up. That's a really big one.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Across 2 clubs.
It's the first multi-venue tournament. As I said to you, many of the owners of the Padel Club was my clients. And I have very good relation with them. So we tried, why not, to try something new, you know. It's a big tournament. We have almost 100 teams. Imagine, 100 teams.
So that's like that's basically 200 people.
Yeah.
That's massive. That is massive across all categories. So I've been thinking to ask you. So you've been invested in sports and athleticism and health and everything, and you've set up this so far very successful club with the paddle courts. And you just mentioned something that I think is very interesting that brings all of this together, which is relationships. How important did you find the relationships, especially in paddle, which is also a very social sport? How important have they been to the success of Spazio and the success of paddle in Cyprus as a whole?
Padel is actually a social game. It's the only reason. One of the reasons they are so successful in the Mediterranean countries and not on the north, because it is in our mentality. We like to go out and be loud, make new friends, meet with each other. So actually it's a community. Every club now, they have their community. It's a close community, you know. So it's very important, the relationships of the players, and on the tournaments, in some mini tournament we have, it's all about the communicating, the relationship, to find new players to play. So you change phones, you meet people, and more, and that's the good with the paddle.
Yeah, I bet. I mean,
it's a social.
It's a social sport. Yeah, I think that's also what pulled me in, to get to meet people. That's how I met you. And I'm really happy that I started my journey in paddle. And I think what you said about people that inspire you, that are athletes or anyone involved in sports, I think you also serve as an inspiration to people in Cyprus to be athletic or to get involved in sports. And
just to know, I don't play paddle.
Well, that's my last question to you: is will we ever see you playing in a tournament?
No, maybe no. When we started with the paddle, I play almost every day. Okay. I was the fourth guy, just to
fill the court.
I would be there from 5 in the afternoon until 11, sometimes 12, and sometimes 1 in the evening, all day, all night, teaching people how to play, not teaching the technique, teaching the rules. Because, as I told you, I was not a racket player. And play almost every day. After, I couldn't find a court to play.
Not even in your own club?
Yes. So I stopped for 1-2 years to play. And after, if in the time, in the year, you have too many, how to say, the ITV.
Friction.
Yeah, with the sport. You can't, you start to overload, and it won't break.
Yeah, you burn out.
Yeah, some people say also the ice cream man don't eat ice cream. Maybe it's one good
analogy.
For me.
Fair enough. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and for giving us some insights into the bedrock of paddle in Cyprus. And I look forward to having you again for another episode where we can...
Thank you for having me. It's my honor that I'll be the first guy for paddle here. And when you have anything else in the paddle, thank you for doing this to paddle, because like the guys who made the tournaments, everyone is do something for paddle. For us is pleasure.
Awesome.
Because bringing more people and the communities get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, that's our goal. We want to grow the community, and we want to create a glue for everyone in the community. And I hope that in some time from now we can have another discussion, and we can reflect on this podcast and see how far we've come along.
Perfect.
Maybe it could be a discussion about the first international tournament that Cyprus has hosted, hopefully at Spazio.
Hopefully too.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Me too.
Cheers.